Since 1999, our students, faculty, and staff have come together to present Maryland Day each April. Tens of thousands of Terps and friends from all over the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore regions descend upon College Park for a day filled with learning, fun, and discovery. This year, we are unable to gather in person for our traditional celebration, so we are bringing Maryland Day to you. I invite you to join me for a variety of demonstrations and activities that you can enjoy from wherever you are. I can think of no better way to close out this special historic Inauguration Week. So, come explore our world of fearless ideas at Maryland Day, and go Terps!
Hello, and happy Maryland Day. Your friends at the College of Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences have a lot of really interesting stuff to show you today, including some fun science facts about bugs, stars, and even trilobites. Plus, really cool experiments that you and your mom or dad can do together using a few simple things that you probably have around the house. First up, we're going to show you how to make a lava lamp. This experiment is brought to you by the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
I'm Preston. And Logan.
And we're gonna make a lava lamp.
Today, we'll be making lavare lucerna. What is that, you may ask? Lavare is the Latin word for lava, and lucerna is the Latin word for lamp. To do this experiment, all you're gonna need is a water bottle, vegetable oil, food coloring, and an Alka-Seltzer tablet.
The jars are filled a quarter of the way of water, and we'll put a couple drops of food coloring inside.
Pour the oil into the bottle nearly to the top and give it a few moments for the oil and the water to separate. Since water is heavier than oil, you can see the water settle to the bottom.
Once the water and oil has separated, you'll put a quarter of a piece of Alka-Seltzer inside.
And watch it come to life.
Look at this.
Oh, that is so cool. It's like dancing around. Here it comes. Oh, you have big bubbles.
Tornado.
It's like a tornado.
As the tablet dissolves, bubbles of carbon dioxide, or CO2, are produced. These bubbles are light, so light in fact, they rise through the liquid to the top. Droplets of water stick to the CO2 as it rises and are carried along for the ride, which you can see from the food coloring dissolved in the water. At the top, the bubbles pop, releasing the CO2.
Oh, look at the little ones popping up.
Those are air.
It's a little air.
So, why do the remnants sink? Well, once the CO2 is gone, the heavier water sinks back down to the bottom.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that was cool.
This demonstration represents the flow of lava out of the Earth's mantle during volcanic eruptions. Scientists study volcanic eruptions because, believe it or not, we would not be here if not for volcanic eruptions. The carbon in the food that we eat, in me, in you, the very essence of life, was once locked in the Earth's mantle and set free by an ancient volcanic eruption.
And that's how you make a lava lamp. If you want to save it for later, you can put a lid on top. And if you want to see the lava flow again, you can put a piece of Alka-Seltzer inside and watch it flow.
This demonstration is courtesy of Testudo. That's Latin for tortoise.
Guess what? The cicadas are coming. Here's the bug guy to tell us all about it, brought to you by the Department of Entomology.
Hi, I'm Professor Mike Raup of the University of Maryland at College Park. They call me the bug guy. Sometimes it's hard for me to believe that I could make a career simply studying some of the most fascinating creatures on planet Earth. This year is especially exciting to me because this is the year of the periodical cicada. This year, it's really gonna be a cicada palooza right here in Maryland. They've been underground for 17 years, feeding on the sap of plants. These teenage nymphs are gonna come up out of the ground by the billions. They're gonna make a mad dash for the treetops. The males are going to be singing, and here's what it's gonna sound like. They're going to be trying to find that special someone who could be the mother of their nymphs. After they mate, the females are going to lay their eggs, and in a few weeks, those eggs are going to drop back to the ground, and those little cicadas are going to go back underground and feed again for another 17 years underground. If you really want to help scientists learn more about cicadas, hey, you can download the Cicada Safari app. Photograph those cicadas, send us the data, become a citizen scientist, and help folks like me understand more about some of the most fascinating creatures on planet Earth. So go outside, enjoy those cicadas. It's going to be spectacular.
Let's get messy. We're going to make some slime called oobleck. This experiment is brought to you by the Department of Physics.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
I'm Keegan.
And we're making
Oobleck.
Oobleck is a slime-like substance that gives us a lesson in states of matter. To make some, you'll need a spoon, 1 cup of water, food coloring, and a 1.5 cups of cornstarch in a medium-sized bowl.
All right, so now we're gonna put food coloring in our water so that our oobleck is exciting and fun. What color do you want?
Blue.
Blue, go ahead and grab blue. And I'm gonna do red. All right, you ready to start mixing?
Yeah.
All right, let's try to get the right consistency here.
Stir the water into the cornstarch. When you aren't stirring the mixture, your oobleck should move like a liquid. But if it seems too runny, add more cornstarch. Now the fun part, playing with it.
Can I play with it?
Oh boy, I mean, yeah. You ready to get some messy hands?
Yay.
Scoop the oobleck and hold your hands above the bowl. Let it slip between your fingers. It should still feel like a liquid.
It feels like weird bubble gum. Oh my goodness.
So how can the oobleck feel like both a solid and a liquid without changing temperature? We can thank a famous physicist named Sir Isaac Newton for the answer. Oobleck is what we call a non-Newtonian fluid. Newtonian is in Newton, get it? It means that depending on how much you squeeze it, it'll act as a solid or a liquid.
What happens when you pick it up?
It's solid, and now it turns into liquid.
Look at that.
I know, it's weird, right? So why does this happen? Well, for our oobleck, the cornstarch hasn't actually dissolved. The grains are suspended and spread out in the water. When you apply pressure by squeezing the oobleck, the grains hold their shape. When there is very little pressure, the goo will flow through your fingers like a liquid.
I think we did it right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You probably have some non-Newtonian fluids lying around your house. Honey, paint, and ketchup are all some common ones, but I think oobleck is my favorite.
All right, so that is how you make oobleck
So it's a solid, and now it is a liquid.
without changing temperature.
What's next? Look up. We're going to check out the view from the UMD Observatory, brought to you by the Department of Astronomy.
Hello, welcome to the University of Maryland Astronomy Observatory. I'm Elizabeth, the director of this facility. How did I become an astronomer? Well, I've always been fascinated by the night sky, by the immensity and scale of it, how our solar system is just an itty-bitty tiny corner in the universe. When I was 13, my parents got me my first telescope, and I've been doing science and math things ever since, like running this observatory. At an observatory, we use telescopes and different kinds of cameras to help us see things that are really very far away. During the day, we can observe the sun and moon, and at night, we observe a variety of celestial objects, including the moon, planets, asteroids and comets, stars, star clusters, which are just bunches of stars, nebulae, clouds of dust and gas, and galaxies, collections of all of these things. Since our eyes work a little differently than the cameras, what we see through the telescope looks different from the photographs. For example, M42, the Orion Nebula, starts to look fuzzy in binoculars and small telescopes. But photographs of the Orion Nebula show a whole lot more. We have regular public nights twice a month, as well as occasional impromptu observing sessions where we invite you and your family to look through the telescopes. But there are other nights where students are collecting data for research. Will you be one of those students one day?
Now we're going to learn about microbiomes with a fun demonstration from the Center for Bioinformatics and Computational Biology.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
I'm Logan. And I'm Preston.
And today we're going to explore a human microbiome.
Bacteria, viruses, and fungi live on our skin and in our bodies, like in our mouths and our stomach, making up what is called the human microbiome. You might think of microbes as harmful bugs that we need to get rid of, but some of these microbes actually help our bodies by building up our immune system, making vitamins, and helping us digest food.
We have a mixture of pasta, beans, peanuts, and candy.
Yay! Yay!
We'll take a handful and put one in each bowl.
Each type of food item in this jar represents a different microbe in your gut microbiome.
Can we eat the candy?
Not right now, these are microbes, so we have to separate them and count them.
The total number of objects or microbes that we count is called our sample size. We count the number of different microbes in our sample to capture its diversity. Having lots of different microbes or more diversity usually makes our microbiome stronger because if one organism stops working, another can step in and help out.
How many pieces do you have?
I have 90.
And Logan, how many pieces do you have?
114.
All right, I got 121.
Even though we're all sampling from the same microbiome, each person might get different counts. And that's okay. The same thing would happen if we were counting from different samples of your gut, where there are billions of microbes. Since we can't count the whole jar, we can use multiple samples to get a better picture of what's in our microbiome. The object with the highest count in our sample is the dominant microbe. In this case, it was the elbow macaroni. In our gut microbiome, the dominant microbe depends on what you like to eat.
All right, so you had about 56 pieces out of a 90. So what's that percent?
That is about 60%.
All right, great. And then you had about 56 pieces out of 114. So what's that percent?
50%.
All right, and then I had 62 pieces out of 121, so that's about 50%.
Knowing which bacteria live in our healthy gut helps us understand how they change when we get sick and how we can use our diet to help us get back to a healthy state.
Oh, that was so much fun. What'd you think?
It was so much fun. Can we eat the candy?
All right, let's do it, and let's let our microbes work for us.
Yummy.
Now it's time to dig up some details about fossils, brought to you by the Department of Geology.
Hi, I'm Maria Eugenia Gold, and I'm a paleontologist. I have loved dinosaurs since I was a little kid. I knew my whole life that I wanted to be a paleontologist and study how these magnificent animals lived. A paleontologist is someone who studies fossil animals and plants. Fossils form when animals and plants die and get buried. While they're buried, over a long period of time, parts of their bodies are replaced with minerals and they become fossils. Paleontologists like me find these fossils when they peek out from the ground. We dig them out and study them. I'm going to tell you about a couple of cool fossils I learned about from two paleontologists at the University of Maryland when I was a student there. The first is the Maryland state fossil Ecphora gardneri. It's an extinct snail that lived between 23 and 5 million years ago in Maryland. You can see the shell has ridges that spiral around it. This type of snail would use its mouth parts to drill holes in other shellfish and eat the animal inside. Did you know some snails are predators? I didn't know that. The second is Cuperosaurus texanum, a type of extinct nautiloid. If you've heard of the chambered nautilus, this animal is similar, except its shell had spines coming off of it. This animal was special to me because it was the mascot for the UMD Scholars Program Earth, Life, and Time, which helped my career from the moment I started at UMD. Maryland is home to all sorts of fossils, from trilobites, scallops, oysters, corals, and plants, to sharks, dinosaurs, and even mastodons. Studying extinct animals and plants like these can help us understand Earth history and give us a way to predict what to expect in the future.
Thanks for watching. Now it's your turn. Grab your mom or dad and try these experiments out for yourself, because science is really cool and there's always something new to learn. Check out the link for more information.
Hi, I'm Colleen O'Neill from the College of Education, and this is my friend, Sophie.
And I'm Stephanie Serrato, a first-year doctoral student in the College of Education, and this is my friend Jasmine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Martin, and I'm a second-year doctoral student in the College of Education, and this is my friend Zoe.
So we wanted to share some fun activities that you can do with kids to help kids manage their emotions.
Our Emotions, Equity, and Education Research Lab in the College of Education have found these activities in our Resilient Emotions Magic Toolbox to be useful for adults, parents, and teachers who work with preschool and elementary school age children.
You can download this toolbox from our website link, which is on the Maryland Day website.
In our studies, we've used these Magic Toolbox activities with teachers of immigrant children here in Maryland and abroad. These studies were funded by University of Maryland and by a donor who actually got his doctorate at the College of Education. In our publications, we found that teachers wanted activities that help children manage their emotions and calm their bodies. So belly breath activities like shown in the picture here.
So you can use the table of contents within our toolbox to go directly to the activity that you want to use with your child.
This activity, Tucker Turtle, seems like it might be good for my friend Jasmine, who's feeling a little upset today because I accidentally bumped her head. Let's walk through the steps so you all can see what doing this with your children looks like in practice. Let's start by recognizing your feelings today. How do you think you're feeling?
I'm feeling angry.
Oh, my friend Jasmine is feeling angry today. So Jasmine, I want you to imagine a stop sign and think in your head, stop. Good job. Now I want you to imagine tucking yourself inside the shell just like a turtle. And once you're tucked, we're going to take 3 big, deep breaths. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go. Good job, Jasmine. One more time. Okay, now let's come out of your shell and think of a solution.
Well, since I'm feeling angry, I can let you know how bumping my head made me feel. And I could ask you if it was on purpose or accident.
That's a great solution, Jasmine. Good job. So this activity is called Tucker Turtle, and it was adapted from Lentini and colleagues' 2005 Teaching Tools for Young Children with Challenging Behavior. This activity gives children the steps they need to cope with emotions, and we hope that you can give it a try at home.
Now we're going to try another activity. This one's called the drumming activity, and it can help students activate and calm their brains, like in the morning after class or after lunch. And Zoe's going to help us with this one.
All right, everybody, let's do this beat against our bodies. You ready? Boom, 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 boom. Your turn. Boom, 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 boom. Good job, everyone. So this would be a great activity to do using different rhythms for about 5 minutes. This activity can be a fun way to get your students or your children ready for learning, and it can be great to help with the mind and body connection.
So we're curious, how do you help your children manage their emotions and calm their bodies? So let us know. Go to our website. There's a box on our website where you can tell us.
Our webpage also includes the Toolbox PDF and some activity sheets that you can use with your children.
You can also provide feedback on this presentation and our toolbox on our website.
So let's do the goodbye song together from the Magic Toolbox. So this, the walk out the door chant, could be useful if your child has trouble leaving places like classrooms, school or home, especially with their adjustment to hybrid learning. So let's all point to the ceiling, point to the floor, wave to your friends, and we walk out the door.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Nicole Coomber. I'm an associate clinical professor in management and organization at the Robert H. Smith School of Business.
My name is Lola. I'm a student. I'm in 3rd grade. I make the best lemonade. I think I could be the world's most famous lemonade seller. I sell my lemonade on the block, but I want to sell my lemonade all over the world. How do I start my lemonade business?
How do you start your own business? I can help with that one. That's a question we get a lot where I work. Makes sense, right? Because we are a business school, the Robert H. Smith School of Business. We help people who want to make their small business bigger or their smart business even smarter. And sometimes we meet someone who has just a little bit of an idea like you, an idea about a possible business like Lola's Legendary Lemonade.
I like that. What's next?
Phase 1 is ideation, which is all about ideas. And here's some questions you can consider. What energizes you, excites you, or maybe frustrates you? What customer experiences have made you think there has to be a better way of doing this? What social issues or problems do you feel really passionate about? And what are some times when you've said, oh, I wish they would fix this?
People like my lemonade because it's sweet, but not too sweet. Sometimes I add another fruit like raspberries and strawberries. I don't add too much ice, but I always make sure it's cold. I put my logo on all of the cups.
Now you've got it. As they say in entrepreneurship, though, ideas are a dime a dozen. It's the execution that matters. And we're on to phase 2, which is implementation. This is where we get the lemonade stand rolling. You'll want to test your business idea in the most inexpensive way possible. Let's start by adding a Lola's Legendary Lemonade stand on another block that's similar to yours. We'll follow the prototype that you've already created with the lemonade stand you're already operating. We can worry about fancy packaging and other goodies later. Let's see how popular Lola's Legendary Lemonade is in a new location.
How do I tell people about my lemonade stand, Miss Nicole?
There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, and that's what we call marketing at the business school. So you could pass out flyers on your street. You might post some posts on Instagram or on other social media sites. And the tried and true way of getting the message out is to use word of mouth. And that's where people just tell one another about it. So maybe you spread the word with your friends, tell them about the great lemonade, and ask everybody to tell 5 friends about how great your lemonade stand is.
There's only one of me. How do I get other people to help me?
One of the hardest things about being an entrepreneur is knowing when to get other people to help you out. So you want to think about who is the right fit, who do you get along with that you can work with, and who's going to bring something new to the team. Maybe they have friends in a different neighborhood. Maybe they have a different skill set and are used to dealing with money. And so you might want to split the profits with them or give them a share of the business as it expands. Maybe you could pay them in lemonade. At Smith, we tell entrepreneurs, don't wait until your product is 100% perfect. Build 80% and then let customers tell you what the other 20% should look like.
I can change the way how my lemonade stand works.
100%. It's always smart to be thinking and rethinking. This leads us to the final phase, which is iteration. That's business speak for changing things once you're already a lemonade mogul. A successful venture never stops developing. The business model has to be continually reviewed, improved upon, and scaled to keep ahead of the competition and adapt to an ever-changing marketplace. Always pay attention to trends and always listen to your customers. If you serve your lemonade with a straw of all of your lemonade stands over all the world, do you think people would prefer to have a plastic straw or a paper one?
Definitely paper.
Now you've got it. Companies that adapt survive. This is critical for all businesses, not just startups. And at every phase, remember, work hard, do your homework, and believe in yourself. And if you do all of that, the rewards can be pretty sweet.
Thank you, Miss Nicole. I'm super excited for my lemonade business.
You're welcome, Lola. Good luck with Lola's Legendary Lemonade.
All right,
right, Testudo, are you ready to get fit and get lit on our walk today? I'm so excited. I can't wait to learn more about campus. You know, as a freshman, I'm really excited to see all this stuff out there, but I kind of feel like I've already been a part of the community. Do you know about 4-H, Testudo? Yeah, I was in 4-H as a kid, and it gave me lots of amazing opportunities here at the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. So I already feel a little bit at home, but I'm still excited to find some new stuff today. Are you excited? I'm super excited. All right, let's get our hearts pumping and our eyes looking. Let's do this. Let's get fit, Testudo. Man, it's such a nice day out today. A little bit warm, a little bit cool. I feel like we can really get the cardio in. Yeah, spread the arms. All right, here we go. That was perfect. I feel great. Whew! I think I'm starting to break a sweat, but it feels good. It feels good, Testudo, you know? I mean, wait a minute. Do you hear that? Huh, sounds like an animal. I mean, I know we're at the campus farm, but like, I wasn't sure we still had animals here. I think it's coming from over here.
Hi, I'm Allison. And I'm Savannah, and this is my lamb, Iris. And this is my lamb, Willow. And we're animal science students enrolled in the sheep management course, a class that takes place right here on the campus farm. On the campus farm, we have chickens, cows, horses, pigs, and sheep. All of these animals help teach us vital skills in agriculture and hands-on experience with animal care.
Wow, Testudo, that was really interesting learning about our flock here on campus. And I never knew the College of Agriculture dealt with animal, human, and environmental health. Oh, I have a pop question for you. Okay, what was the first college established on the University of Maryland campus? Are you saying engineering? I don't know if that's exactly right. No, you're saying agriculture and natural resources? That's exactly right, Testudo. The College of Agricultural and Natural Resources was founded in 1856 and is actually considered the cornerstone college of the entire university. You know what? But enough smart speak. Let's get back to our exercise. Shoulders out, knees in, let's get going. Whew, Testudo, I think we almost made our step limit. And look, we're here outside the Xfinity Center. Wow, one of my favorite places. Oh, hey, what's that? Is that a greenhouse? I didn't know we had greenhouses here. I mean, are we even on campus anymore? Oh, look, there's someone waving to us. Hi.
Hi, Leslie and Testudo. Welcome to the greenhouse. We're here in the misting house of the Research Greenhouse Complex. This is a state-of-the-art greenhouse that we have here at the University of Maryland. My name is Kate Tully, and I'm an associate professor of agroecology in the Department of Plant Science. And all of these beautiful plants here, we're gonna plant in a couple of weeks at an urban farm that I run in Northwest DC. It's called the Columbia Heights Green. Our goal is to grow as many different kinds of crops as we can so that we can have a really diverse variety of fruits and veggies. And the reason that that's important is because if you think about urban farms across the world, they may not be the best way to grow all the calories we need to feed the world, but they sure are a good way of growing all of the micronutrients that we need so that we can feed people and they can live a healthy and active life. It's a great place for you to start all your plants so that you can get them ready to go in the ground. And it's also a great place to conduct research. So a lot of the different plants that you see in here are for research projects. And in years previous, I've used the greenhouse to grow all of our plants to start for restoration trials that we've been doing on the eastern shore of Maryland. And the purposes of that research is to try to clean up the Chesapeake Bay. So we're really, really fortunate to have this wonderful space here at Maryland where we can get all of our projects off the ground.
I mean, holy moly, terrapins, Testudo, that was so cool. I mean, learning about urban agriculture. I thought agriculture was only in the country. And removing food deserts, providing communities with nutrients, and then talking about bay health. I mean, looking into salinity and research into plants developing in saltwater, that's so fascinating. I mean, the College of Ag is just so cool. Hey, Testudo, this is a pretty zen spot with the river rolling through it. But, what's going on down there?
Hi, Testudo and Leslie. You're right. The water that's running down that stream in College Park comes down here into the bay, along with all of the rest from the 64,000 square mile watershed. I'm Don. I work with University of Maryland Extension. We have county offices everywhere from the mountains of Western Maryland to the Atlantic shoreline in Worcester County. We work with people, helping them to solve their problems on a local basis. You've already seen some of the animal agriculture. You've seen inner city agriculture. I happen to work with those in underwater agriculture or aquaculture. We're doing a lot of work with oysters right now to try to restore that important resource. For those of you who like cooked oysters, this is the size that comes through the shucking houses. And for those of you who enjoy the wonderful restaurants and raw bars, this is what's raised for those. Why do we want to farm oysters? Because they're a very important part of our bay ecosystem. They help to filter the water, taking the phytoplankton out of it that results from the nutrients that run into the bay. They're one of our keystone species. They provide a lot of habitat for other species, and they're very nutritious and tasty. Some of the things that we're doing this for, building economic development, employment in our rural communities, as well as helping the environment.
Wow, Testudo, I mean, are you as shocked as I am? Like, I never knew the College of Agriculture did so much with the bay and oyster conservation. Just, it blows my mind. Gosh, I feel like I've learned so much today. You know, it reminds me of my favorite show, The Magic School Bus. Oh, with Miss Frizzle and that little lizard. Oh, it's the best. But you know what? We've done a lot of exercising today. We've exercised our bodies, and we've exercised our brains, which is also important. But the most important part of an exercise routine is to keep it up. Same time next week? All right, high five, Testudo. Getting fit.
Next time, we can explore more around campus. We can dive into plant genetics, food science, environmental health, robotics, landscape design, human nutrition, and even visit a dietitian to get our food habits on track with our exercise. We're a part of a college that is solving today's biggest challenges around food, the environment, and human health. If you want to study up more before our next session, feel free to visit our website at agnr.umd.edu to learn more. Go Terps!
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Beth Bonsignor. I'm the director of Kids Team, which is an after-school participatory design group here at the University of Maryland. And today I want to share a few things that we do, like how we do it, what our research is, a little bit behind it. And I also wanted to introduce you to two of our Kids Team kids who are part of the program, Grace and Bolaji. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Grace.
Hi, my name is Grace, and I've been a Kids Team designer since I was 7 years old, and I'm 11 now.
All right, great. And we'll popcorn it over to Bolaji.
Okay, hi, my name's Bolaji. I have been in Kids Team for 3.25 years, and I am 9 years old.
Awesome. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and share a little bit about the background of Kids Team. First, this is how everybody arrives at Kids Team to our sessions. And these are just some pictures for you to learn a little bit about Kids Team. It's been a design-based research partnership at the University of Maryland for over 20 years. Our process is grounded in this research-based participatory design approach called cooperative inquiry. But because that's a really long phrase, it's also just called co-design. So as I mentioned, it's a design and research process, and it's where kids and adults work together as teams, as partners, or in teams as partners as they design technologies for children. In fact, our tagline is, we design tech for kids, with kids. And in our multi-generational design teams, we work to ensure that both children and adults have an equal stake and an equal say in the technologies, tools, and experiences that we design and share with different developers that we work with. We focus on something called the process of idea elaboration, which basically means that we're riffing off each other's strengths as we design. So we've used co-design to help create technologies like websites. Like we're working with Nickelodeon on their website Clubhouse. We've also worked on different apps like the Nickelodeon Do Not Touch button. And we've also worked with the National Park Service and lots of families in communities that are both local and across different states. We've created mobile storytelling technologies like this StoryKit mobile storytelling app that you see here. And we've also created interactive wearables like this e-textile t-shirt that features parts of the human digestive and pulmonary system. So we use a wide variety of different materials and tools throughout our co-design process. We use, as you can see here, we use arts and crafts materials that we call a bag of stuff for low-tech prototyping. And we also use things like Post-it notes or sticky notes that we use to cluster various design ideas and our critiques of different design features into actionable requirements for software developers when we beta test different technologies and different features. So we use these many different types of design techniques. Those are just a couple of examples. It depends on the design task. For example, we might run a blue sky, big paper session in which we ask kids to help us design this anatomy t-shirt like the one that you saw so that they can understand the inner workings of their bodies. And we've designed in face-to-face physical spaces. And we also are able to move online and work in hybrid design spaces with digital whiteboards. We also love to make presentations of our work at different conferences at the University of Maryland. So with that, that's a quick summary of what Kids Team does. I wanted to turn it over to the designers themselves and ask them a few questions. So first, I'd like to ask Grace and Balaji, like, what does it mean to be a Kids Team designer? Like, what would they tell somebody about what it means to be a Kids Team designer?
I would say it means you give people input and you make friends and you have fun and learn things while having fun.
Great. Balaji?
I would say you can learn like information about the topic you're designing about.
Cool. And like, what was your favorite thing about being a Kids Team designer? What was your favorite design project, Grace?
My favorite design project ever was my first session at Kids Team. It was about transporting animals and how we would do it.
Yeah, and you were 6 then, right? So kids from 6 to, we have actually 13 and 14-year-olds now, so kids from 6 to 13 and 14 work at Kids Team. So what about you, Balaji? What's your favorite design session?
My favorite design session is the first day of summer because like the first day of summer there's a human obstacle course, so people are being like obstacles and then someone's blindfolded and you're either the one blindfolded and someone else is giving you directions on where to go to win.
Can I ask you why you think we do that at Kids Team?
To learn cooperation.
Absolutely right. That's exactly why we do it. So let me ask you this. This is my last question. Why should other kids get involved in Kids Team? Either Grace or Balaji.
Why kids should get involved in Kids Team is because like you can learn new things, like if you can share your design ideas. So if you like or dislike, or if you have a design idea about something, you can just tell them what you do not like, and maybe depending on what it is, you might be able to change it.
Awesome. Grace?
I think it's good. It's fun to be a designer because you give your opinion, and usually when you're like at school related things, people don't really ask for your opinion and what you think about things. And I think that's really cool.
Well, that was great, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing all of your design experiences and your design ideas. And we hope that everybody enjoyed the presentation. If you'd like to know more about Kids Team, you can look at the website that's down at the bottom of the screen. And with that, we'll say enjoy the rest of your Maryland day and see you soon. Hope to see you here at Kids Team.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Boris Lushniak, and I'm the Dean of the School of Public Health at the University of Maryland in College Park. Now, when I talk to people about what public health is and why it matters, I shared the 3 Ps of public health. And what is that? Public health is about preventing disease and injury. It's about promoting health and well-being and prolonging a high quality of life. Now, the coronavirus pandemic has made the role of public health in preventing disease visible to all this past year. It has helped more people recognize how important it is to support our mental health and act from a recognition of our own interconnectedness as a society. And as many of us worked, or as we did school from home this past year, and as we moved less, it has also made us refocus on how we care for our bodies each and every day. Now, our School of Public Health is committed to fearlessly promoting health for all. I know how important it is to be a role model for others about making healthy choices. We're lucky to have the Gymkhana Troupe as part of the School of Public Health. Now, I like to brag that we're the only School of Public Health with its own sports team. But really, Gymkhana is so much more than that. Through their performances, through their summer camp, through their classes, through their outreach to schools and families, the Gymkhana Troupe has been showing us what it means to make healthy choices, to create friendship and community, and most importantly, perhaps, to have fun while being physically active for decades. As the Gymkhana Troupe celebrates 75 years at the University of Maryland, it is one of the longest continually operating student clubs in the university's history. I hope you'll enjoy this celebration of its contributions and some highlights of past performances. Now let's hear a little bit about the history of Gymkhana.
In 1946, the bikini bathing suit and Tupperware containers made their debut, and so did the University of Maryland Gymkhana Troupe, which is celebrating its 75-year history of performing high-flying gymnastics and acrobatics routines for audiences near and far. The troupe got a start when David Field, a World War II Army Corps veteran, joined the University of Maryland as a physical education faculty member. He had graduated from the University of Illinois, where he was a competitive gymnast and a member of the original Gymkhana Troupe founded by Dr. Hartley Price. He began holding daily practices in the Old Armory in November of 1946, and the Gymkhana Club was officially recognized on December 3rd. Its original purpose was to provide a healthful recreational activity for students and promote the sport of gymnastics. Dr. Field shared, there were few people who had prior gymnastic experience in those days, So over at the old gym, we started teaching forward rolls and backward rolls, cartwheels, knee drops on the trampoline, and eventually somersaults on the trampoline, and we worked ourselves up from there. Despite such challenges, field wasted no time, and Gymkhana gave its first public appearance at Ritchie Coliseum on January 10th, 1947. It was a tumbling routine during the halftime of the Maryland George Washington basketball game. On April 23rd, 1947, after having given 7 performances, the Gymkhana Troupe held its first annual home show to a capacity crowd of 500. The troupe continued to thrive as a student organization for another 30 years under the leadership of George Kramer, who took over as Gymkhana's director and head coach in 1953. In its early years, shows contained a vaudeville-like mixture of gymnastics, dancing, music, and comedy. Performing at local schools, on television, and at military bases throughout the country and overseas, the troupe earned the moniker Ambassadors of Goodwill for their support of various causes through their performances and service. Among Coach Kramer's many talents, he designed and sewed many of the troupe's costumes, which gave the performance extra flair and visual impact. Each season culminated in a home show performance, which moved from Ritchie Coliseum to Coalfield House in 1957, and then to the Comcast Center, now called the Xfinity Center, in 2003. Gymkhana has always performed gymnastics in a way that is focused on entertaining audiences, incorporating both traditional gymnastics and novelty skills, and equipment to create fun, unique performances. And the Gymkhana Troupe has always welcomed students of all skill levels and never required tryouts or auditions for membership. The program strives to give its members a home away from home, foster lifelong friendships, and teach positive life skills. Participating in Gymkhana is a unique student experience that people remember and cherish long after they've graduated. Some even become head coach, as I did. In the 1980s, leadership of the Gymkhana Troupe transitioned to Joseph Murray, longtime assistant to George Kramer. In 1985, the College of Health and Human Performance, now the School of Public Health, officially brought the troupe under its auspices. It was during this time that the troupe adopted its mission of promoting a drug-free message. Our mission has since evolved into one of promoting active, healthy choices and building a supportive community through performances and youth gymnastics camps and classes. That focus has transcended coaches, troopers, and some of our more public-facing moments, such as when we competed on the television competition America's Got Talent in 2011, making it all the way to the semifinal. Today, we proudly serve as ambassadors for the University of Maryland School of Public Health. As an alumnus and head coach of the Gymkhana Troupe, I celebrate our incredible 75-year legacy and want to thank all of our supporters whose generosity has helped us during the pandemic when we have been unable to run our programs as usual. I hope and am optimistic that the University of Maryland community we love and serve, and our Gymkhana troopers, alumni, families, and youth program participants will help us carry our legacy forward for many years to come. Now enjoy some clips of Gymkhana's recent live performances. We hope to get back to them soon. Gymkhana experience starts at the University of Maryland, but the idea of healthy lifestyles in the family of Gymkhana continues for the rest of their lives. Please enjoy the following video of current members and alumni staying active out in the world.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this most incredible 75th anniversary celebration of Gymkhana.
For more information about Gymkhana's youth programs and how to donate, please go to gymkhana.umd.edu. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alice Longo. I'm a senior in the Bachelor's of Science in Architecture, and I'm graduating this May. My presentation here covers origami. Origami is simply a paper folding art. It was first started when the monks introduced paper to Japan in the 6th century after it was first invented in China around 105 AD. Paper folding in ancient Japan was exclusively used for ritual purposes, often religious in nature, and that was only because paper was a very expensive commodity that was available to only the ones that could afford it. It was only after between 1602 and 1868 in Japan that paper folding became both a recreational and a ritual activity with numerous cuts and folds. It was viewed as a new medium of art made possible by the invention of mass-produced paper and inexpensive as well. The art of paper folding was first called orikata, which then transitioned in 1880 to origami, made of two Japanese words, ori for folded and kami for paper. There isn't really any backstory of any sorts that shows who invented origami in the past. It was just transferred from generation to generation from word of mouth. However, there are traditional origami found on written instructions of Akisato Oritos, as you can see here. He was a poet and also a paper folder who put some instructions of how to fold traditional origami for events and just rituals in the past. And that first appeared in 1797 with his work that he called 1,000 Cranes Folding. Modern origami only came in the 30s with Akira Yoshizawa, who's considered as the father of modern origami. He developed a system of folding, employing a set of symbols, arrows, and diagrams, as you can see in his book here. And that by the 50s, the pattern was published and widely available, which made the origami techniques a globalization and just bring on a whole wave of new artists. As you can see here, modern artist Robert J. Lang is one of the most popular. He's an American physicist, also renowned for his origami's creation. He's known for his complex but very elegantly detailed origami designs, most being animals and insects. Next one here, Eric, who is a professor at MIT, works with his father, Martin Demain, on curving paper sculptures called curved crease sculptures. With his work at MIT, Demain explores origami applications in architecture, robotics, and molecular biology. Next one here, Goran Goncheveld, Croatian mathematician and computer scientist, produces abstract forms of irregular origami shapes. His layered work relies on natural tension found on paper. And next one here, those are my personal best and also really good for designers. Paul Jackson, who's a paper artist, paper engineer, writer, and teacher. He has a really good book that shows techniques on modern folding papers that you can use and move along to actually create something. It really leaves space for, it doesn't really give you a final product, but gives you a starting points for origami as a designer, so you can move along and actually create something out of it. So it really leaves a lot of space for imagination. Next one here, a really young artist, Sifu Mabona, a South African artist who sculpts just amazing life-size animals, and he also makes really good installation using different types of paper, just like money and a lot more. Origami here can be used in many ways. As you can see here, we use it in architecture mainly for its structure, its strength, its foldability, the way you can shrink and actually expand, and also its weight bearing. Here's one example of the Bloomberg Pavilion by Akihisa Hirata in Japan. He made this installation mainly for art purposes. It's a box, triangular box with an origami folded roof that could lay some different types of lights inside the space. So anybody entering the space can actually see the different lights bouncing back and forth from the different folds. Next example is from Genie Gang in 2003 in Illinois. The theater has this folded roof that can open up and close down to let the space of the theater either be an outdoor space when it needs to be and an indoor space when it needs to be. So it's really a good quality space that can really house a lot of people down there and just be a special moment whenever it can be. Next one here, Citroën Showroom in France by Manuelle Gautran. She is a good architect that uses really good folding expression. This one here, she's using a glass origami for this showroom, mainly for its structure as well as just the beauty of it. Next one here, we have origami at the University of Maryland. In the architecture department, we take this class structure as an undergraduate. I took 2 of them, and with Professor Minghu, and we learned a lot about structure and how to integrate them to our design. So our architect would not just design a building, but also just thinking about how this can stand. In her class, she has this exercise of origami structure where she asks students, she gives them 1 to 2 weeks to design an origami structure that can be put together and sustain some weights. So what they do is go through a set of inspiration. As you can see here on the left, the students were inspired by Bogota's house and stacked different structure together and see how they can sustain the weights. Coming to the testing day, all the structures were tested by stacking all the books together on top of it, and also mainly the top one, a steel beam, seeing how this would sustain the weight. Some of them were really successful. The next one, you can see other ones were not because of the structure, but this is all part of the design. There are failures, so it goes along. And that was in spring 2018. After that, we were all excited to also have that in 2020, but with COVID-19, this couldn't happen because we couldn't really gather in groups and do this project. So what we did for 2020, Professor Ming Hu introduced a class for the summer where we actually research and design a pop-up COVID-19 structure for testing, which were inspired by origami structures, and just we were interested in the foldability, the structure, the weight bearing, and with many more. We wanted this whole structure to be sustained and all be made out of origami foldings. So we went through a whole search of studies, and this is still an ongoing research, and it's going well so far. And now here's a demonstration of a weight-bearing structure made out of origami folding papers and put together.
All you need is a bunch of square paper, copy paper preferably that you can find at home easily. First thing is to prep your paper by folding it in half vertically, and you want to do that also horizontally. A simple technique to do that is by joining and holding the corners while you're folding on the other side. We also need to make those folds diagonally on both sides of the paper. Now that this step is done, we then need to fold both sides toward the center of the paper using the same technique, joining and holding the corners. Now we need to turn the paper over and fold it in a triangle from the left, and do the same thing at the top using the opposite corner. A quick check to look at both sides of the paper to see what it looks like. Should be looking like this. Next thing is to join the corners again by folding both the bottom and the top arms of the origami toward the center. And this is what you should get as a result. So to make the cube, we need to assemble 6 of these origamis. The arms should slide into the back pocket of each origami, and this could take a couple minutes, but it will all make sense at the end. We need to make sure the cube is well formed and assembled so that it can better support the weight. Each arm should fit perfectly in the back pocket, and there you have it. It's a cube formed of 6 origamis, and now we'll put it to test. We'll start by adding books on top and see how this holds the weight. First book, second book, and it's still holding. Third, a fourth, a fifth, and I ran out of book and using my kitchen tools. And yeah, it's still holding.
Thank you for attending today, and I hope you really learned a lot about architecture and origami. And if you want to learn more about the architecture and the structure class, here's the link down below at the Maryland Day website. Thank you.
Hi friends, I'm Jeff Lids from the Infant and Child Studies Consortium here at the University of Maryland. We're a group of researchers working together to study how children learn. We explore how children learn their first language, how their memories are formed, how they learn to count, and how they understand and learn about social relationships, and how all of that is related to their brain development. This kind of research helps us to understand what it means to be human, and how our interactions with the world shape how and what we're able to learn. Our research has also contributed to creating childhood literacy and numeracy programs, helped to design cochlear implant technology, and been instrumental in developing new treatments for children with autism spectrum disorder, all while giving us a richer understanding of language, social, and cognitive development generally. All our discoveries have been made possible through the generous participation of families like yours. We can't really study how children develop without studying specific children, whether they're infants, preschoolers, or high schoolers. Our labs run because families share their children with us for an hour every once in a while. When you come to one of our labs, your child might play a fun game, watch a short video, listen to sounds, or even have their brain activity measured. But whatever we do together with your child, we make sure it's fun and age appropriate, and that we'll all learn something from their participation. During the pandemic, we've transitioned to running a bunch of our studies virtually, and we've been delighted that the kids still want to play, and we've been able to keep our research moving forward. In this video, we're going to show you a fun activity that you can all try at home, as well as some examples of how even during the pandemic, children have helped us learn about how they develop.
I have read and understand the consent document. I am this child's parent, and we both agree to participate in the study, right, buddy?
Yeah! Who said it right?
Which one said it right?
That one.
This one?
I think so.
Okay.
Samantha, are you excited to play the game? That's not quite right. Okay, wait, Samantha, you have to like after we do our scripts and then you press the button. Is that a deal? Jeremiah is playing the piano. So you and I will talk first, and then after you say yes, you're ready to play the game, I'll say get started, and then you press the button. Okay. We'll try again. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hi, Leo. My name is Angela, and we're going to play a memory game today, okay? Are you excited?
Oh, I know memory games. Hey, baby, look at the kitty. Did you see the kitty? Where's the kitty?
She helped make some cookies.
She helped me make some cookies.
You've moved up on the game board. Get to the end to win.
You ready to keep going?
Touch. Carter and Joe are cutting the paper. Great job. You touched the picture that matches the sentence.
My name is Erica, and I'm a PhD student in the Hearing and Speech Sciences department. I'm a member of the Language Development and Speech Perception Lab, and I research speech perception in young kids, and I'm particularly interested in comparing monolinguals and bilinguals. So in these past few videos, we showed you some kids participating in some of our research studies online. Now we're going to talk to you about a task that we use in some of our experiments called the Troupe. And in addition to being part of our experiments, the Troupe is also just a fun game that you can play at home, and we'll show you how you can do that.
Hi, Maryland Day. I'm Tara.
I'm Xander.
And today we're taking a look at something called the Troupe task. It's something that we can use to check how fast our brains go when we're thinking about naming colors, and our brains get distracted with reading the words instead of just looking at the colors. So for this game, you have to say the color of the word that shows up on the screen as fast as you can. All right, so there's going to be words that show up on the screen, and the letters are going to be written in several different colors. Okay. Whatever color it is, you tell me that color as fast as you can.
Okay.
I'll type it into the computer as soon as you say it. Okay. So some of the words are going to be written in red. So you say red as fast as you can.
Okay.
Some of them are going to be in yellow. Some of them are going to be in green. Some of them are going to be in blue. You say those colors as fast as you can. Sometimes the letters are going to spell the word blue or red or green or yellow. Sometimes it'll say yellow in yellow, but sometimes it'll say yellow in blue. Don't tell me what the word says.
Okay.
Just tell me what color the letters are written in. Okay?
Okay.
It's kind of hard sometimes.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. My fingers lined up. Okay. That's giving the instructions I just said. So for this one, for example,
red.
Right. You might be tempted to say green, but don't. Tell me the color. Red. All right, and that's how I'll type it in. I'll do R when you say red, G when you say green, B when you say blue, and Y when you say yellow.
Yellow. Green. Yellow. 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 Blue. Blue. Yellow. Green. Yeah, blue. Green. Blue. Green. Red. Red. Green. Yellow. Green. Yellow. Yellow. Red. Red. Green. Blue. Red. Blue. Blue. Yellow. Yellow. Blue. Red. Green. Blue. Yellow. Green. Red. 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 Green. Red.
Okay, so a bunch of those it said wrong just because your answer was too slow.
Oh.
But, so here's congruent. So the congruent ones, what does congruent mean?
Congruent means equal.
Or kind of.
I mean, congruent means the same as the other one.
Right, so it's a perfect fit. It's a good match. So which ones were congruent?
Blue when it says blue, red when it says red, green when it says green, yellow when it says yellow.
When the word matches the color it's in, those were the congruent ones.
Okay.
And so how fast were you?
1,383 milliseconds.
Right. So that's how long it took you to say it and then me to hear you and type it.
Okay.
All right. And what are these? What's this one? Incongruent.
1,400.
No, what does incongruent mean first?
Oh, sorry. Incongruent means a bad match or different.
Right. So what was an example of an incongruent one?
Green and red, red and green, blue and right and red, red and blue.
So when the word
green
is a different color from the color you were trying to say as the color of the letters, right?
Yeah.
That's incongruent. All right. And so what's the difference in the speed there? Were you the same speed at both, or was one slower, one faster?
The slower one was incongruent, and the faster one was congruent.
That's right.
96 milliseconds.
Okay. All right. So what does that mean about what was happening in your brain?
It meant that it was the color that I saw, that the ink what also was color of the word that it spelled out. That meant it was easier for my brain.
Right. So when it was a good match, the word you were reading and the word you were trying to say, they were the same and you were faster. What was your brain doing when they were incongruent?
The word I wanted, I was trying to say wasn't the color.
Right. Because what was your brain doing?
Same.
No, for the incongruent ones.
I understand. It was trying to say that they were the same, but they weren't. It was trying to get me to say the color that was spelled out with the word. Not the color of the word.
Right. So your brain got distracted by reading.
Yeah.
And slowed down announcing the color.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once we learn how to read, that's something that we can do really automatically. It's hard for us to avoid reading a word if we see something written down somewhere. And in this task, what we're trying to do is tell you not to read. So we know that Xander's a really good reader, and we know that he knows his colors really well. And in this task, what we wanted him to do was to not pay attention to reading and just say the color of the word. And that was a lot harder when the color of the word didn't match up with what the word actually said. So he was slower at those times. And so what this task is really testing is your ability to override that automatic instinct to read the word that you say written down and just deal with colors, because colors are not as automatic as reading. And so this is something that can be different among different groups of people. So if something that we found is that people who are bilingual, so somebody who knows 2 languages, might be better than somebody who's monolingual, who only knows 1 language, at doing this overriding an automatic response. Because if you're bilingual, then you always have 2 languages that you know and that you're trying to deal with. And if you're in a situation where you can only use one of those languages, you might have to inhibit the other one. That doesn't make sense right now. And so bilinguals have a lot of practice doing that, and that might make them better at overriding this reading response in this Troupe task. And something else that researchers at Maryland have found is that for some people, when you do a incongruent Troupe, so if you have to override this automatic response, then that might make it easier for you to override another kind of automatic response. And so the Troupe task really lets us figure out what are differences between groups of people in their ability to override these automatic responses, and how doing that can then affect how you do when you're listening to something else or reading something else. And so Troupe is something that we use in our research a lot at the University of Maryland, and it's just a really fun game that you can play at home. So you can write a bunch of words using different colors on a piece of paper or in chalk on the sidewalk, and then compare among your family or your friends to see who's able to do it fastest. And maybe you can find some of these patterns that we found in our own research.
Here at the Infant and Child Studies Consortium, the most important part of our research is you. You help us learn about how children's brains develop and how that connects to their language, mathematical, and social development. If you want to participate, visit us at childstudies.umd.edu, where you can sign up for virtual studies, or you can be added to our growing list of families who help us with our research. If you sign up, we'll contact you when your child is the right age for a study, and we'll work with you to find a convenient time to participate. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Happy Maryland Day, everyone. Today, we celebrate you and the entire community of the University of Maryland. My name is Bryce, and I am very proud to study fire protection engineering at the A. James Clark School of Engineering here at Maryland. Have you ever wondered how we're able to protect people, property, and the environment from fire? Or how tall, long structures like the Chesapeake Bay Bridge are able to stay sturdy? What about how heavy boats are able to stay afloat? Or even how we're able to look at DNA up close? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you might be an engineer. Engineers are builders and tinkerers. We try and figure out ways to make life better for everyone. May that be constructing fire-resistant buildings, helping build sturdy bridges or transportation systems, or even attacking diseases at a microscopic level. Engineering is everywhere, and it's super cool.
Would you like to be a terrapin engineer for the day and help me out with some of these projects? My friends and I would love to show you some cool things. Come on, let's head into the lab. Hi, Priscilla.
Hey, Bryce, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Pretty good.
So I was just telling our young engineers about how you can actually see DNA. Do you want to show us how you can do that?
Yes, I'd love to. This is one of my favorite experiments ever. Hi everyone, and welcome to the A. James Clark School of Engineering. My name is Priscilla, and I'm currently a bioengineering student. Now today, I'm really excited to show you something special, and we will be extracting DNA from my favorite fruit, the strawberry. So just to get started, you guys need to get all your materials out. You might need to ask your parents for some of these materials, but you will just need some sea salt or some table salt. You'll need a few tablespoons of dish detergent, so what you wash your dishes with. You'll also need some coffee filters or some type of strainer. And you'll need a cup, 2 plastic bags, and you'll need about 3 or 4 strawberries. So try to make sure that the stems are cut off of the strawberries before we get them. And this is what you might need to ask your parents for. You want cold rubbing alcohol. So once you guys get those materials, come back and we'll get started with the experiment. So once you get your 3 to 4 strawberries and make sure those stems are cut off, you want to put it in a plastic Ziploc bag. Make sure it's a Ziploc bag. We're going to try to remove all the air in the bag and zip it up real tight because this is my favorite part of the experiment. What we're now going to do is we're going to be smashing the strawberries on the table. So have some fun with it. We're just going to take a few minutes and really smash the strawberries in the bag. Now you see there's a little bit of air. I'm just going to open it up really quick and let that air out and zip it back up. But we're gonna keep smashing these strawberries. What we're doing right now is we're actually breaking down the walls of the strawberry, releasing the DNA in the strawberry. So even though this is my favorite part, we're actually doing some science while smashing the strawberry. So if you guys just wanna take the next 30 seconds to a minute, continue to smash your strawberry, and I'll see you right back. We are going to be making our DNA extraction liquid. And for this, I already have it pre-made in this bag, but we're gonna be needing a half a cup of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of dish detergent liquid. So once you get all of those combined, you wanna put it in another plastic baggie as shown here. So once we have our DNA extraction liquid all mixed up and ready to go, we're gonna open our bag of the smashed strawberries. Oh my gosh, this smells so good, guys. We are gonna open up our bag of DNA extraction liquid, and we're gonna wanna pour this all over our smashed strawberry mixture. So just try to be careful, try not to spill, and we're just gonna pour that all in our bag. Once you guys have it all mixed up, you want to close your bag real tight. So make sure that Ziploc is nice and secure. Now we're just going to mix our strawberry and DNA extraction liquid. So we're just going to take our bag, we're going to splish it around. You can move it on the table. You can do whatever you want, but you really want to try to get those strawberries and that liquid mixed up really good. You should see some bubbles on the top. All right, so take about 30 seconds to keep mixing your liquid. All right. So next you want to set up your filtering contraption. So what I used is I got a clear cup. It can be plastic or glass, but you want to try to make it clear so you can see what's happening during your experiment. Then you're going to take a coffee filter and try to either take a rubber band or a hair tie or something to kind of attach that filter onto your cup so nothing happens or nothing spills over. So once you have your little contraption here, we're going to take that strawberry and DNA extraction liquid mixture, give it one more shake. I hope you guys had a great time shaking this bag around, and we are going to pour our mixture into our contraption. So just be really careful. Try not to spill it, and we're gonna pour it in slowly. Oh, little spill, it's okay, we can clean that over later. And we're gonna pour it in slowly until our filter gets liquid. So we're gonna take our first half, and we're gonna wait for it to slowly drain. It's okay if you guys make a mess. All the materials here used can be cleaned up with a quick paper towel or a disinfectant wipe. I'm gonna keep pouring this liquid mixture in, and we're just gonna wait for it to drain for a little bit. All right, yeah. Almost to the top. Awesome. All right, now we're just gonna wait a few minutes for this liquid to filter through our filter contraption. You can carefully remove your rubber band or hair tie and squeeze out the rest of the liquid yourself. So I'm gonna try to do this in the most careful manner I can. I'm gonna take off the rubber band as slowly as I can. All right, trying not to let the filter come off of the edges. Okay, there we go, there we go. And now I'm going to take the filter carefully. Ooh, okay, it's okay if it's a little spill. So once we have our extracted strawberry liquid in our cup, we're gonna then take our rubbing alcohol. And remember, we need the cold rubbing alcohol. We're gonna open it up. You wanna try to keep it away from your face. And we're gonna slowly pour some of it to the side of the cup into the liquid. All right. So once you pour that cold rubbing alcohol into your mixture, you should be able to see a nice clear top layer forming above your strawberry mixture. Now this is where the fun part begins. We can actually start to extract the DNA from that layer. All right, so after using my pipette tip to kind of go through that top clear layer, I was actually able to find some DNA. It should be kind of white, clearish, and it should look like kind of like sticky string. You guys should have kind of a similar result that looks like this, but congrats, we just extracted DNA from my favorite fruit, the strawberry.
That's so awesome. I didn't know that you could extract DNA from a strawberry. Thanks so much, Priscilla.
No problem. I hope you guys had a lot of fun.
Oh, I actually see my friends on the other side of the lab. Let's go see what they're up to. Hey y'all, what are you working on?
Hey, nice to see you. We are building some Lego buildings that we are going to mount on our shake table, and we are going to shake them to demonstrate the effects of earthquakes and winds on tall structures.
Very cool. I'm excited to see it.
Great. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dave Lovell. I'm a professor of civil and environmental engineering, and we wanted to show you a demo today to teach you a little bit about what civil engineers do. I happen to have two civil engineers with me today, two of the students here at the University of Maryland.
Hi, my name is Lionel. I am a senior civil engineer in the discipline of transportation and project management.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm also a civil environmental engineer with Lionel. I'm a senior and on the transportation track.
So one of the things civil engineers are famous for is building very big objects that serve the public. So when I say big objects, I mean things like roads, bridges, highways, tunnels,
Sewage systems,
stormwater systems, airports, train stations, all of those kinds of things. And when you build big things that are outside, they have to endure some forces of nature like wind and earthquakes. And so one of the things that we do is we try to figure out, well, how big can the things that we build get before they're going to fall apart and break because the wind blows too hard or the earthquake is too big. And one of the ways that we test that is we build models of some of the things that we're interested in. We put them on a table called a shake table. And it's called a shake table because we can make it shake. And we shake it until we break it. We put the thing on there, we turn the knob, and eventually it falls apart, and then we know a little bit about, well, was that a good design for a building or not? So we want to demonstrate a couple of these to you today. We'll show you, for starters, a short one. Now this doesn't look much like a building, it's just made out of Legos, but it's okay. And it's got some little shock absorbers and some other stuff on it. But Hannah, it does have this sort of interesting heavy brick on top of it. Why would I build a model of a building with a heavy brick on top?
Well, buildings, you can't really see them, but they have heating, air conditioning, and elevators on the top, which create a big heavy load, much like the brick will.
And in a short building, I suppose we don't have to worry about that very much. You'll see that when we shake it, it probably holds together. But if you can see that other building in the back, that's a bit taller. I suspect that when we stick that on the building and shake it, it's going to fall apart. We're going to do the short building first. Lionel, why don't you go ahead and make sure that's fastened down to the table there. All right, so I'm going to press this button here, and the table should start shaking. And this is going to be like a small earthquake. Here we go. Okay, that's not much of an earthquake, but the building's holding up just fine. And it did a pretty good job. And you could see that the table was shaking one way, but the rest of it was shaking the other way, and it kind of held itself together. Now, Most buildings don't have big shock absorbers and stuff like that on the side. So let's see maybe a more rigid frame building and something that's taller. Let's put that on here and see what that does. And here we go.
So this is something you can easily do at home with some Legos. Just build a cool building and then shake it with your hands.
You can do this with everyday items such as popsicle sticks, building blocks, even rocks that you find outside.
Thank you guys so much. That demo was so cool. We're actually going to head over to the neutral buoyancy tank to check out what our aerospace engineers have for us today. Hey guys, good to see you. Want to tell our audience about where we are right now?
Yeah, it's great to see you too. Thank you for coming by. This is our neutral buoyancy research facility, and behind us is our world famous 50-foot wide, 25-foot deep, 367,000 gallon tank of water in which we study anything from humans to robots in places like Mars and the Moon. I'm Charlie Hanner. I'm a graduate research assistant here at the University of Maryland's Aerospace Engineering Department, and I work on researching with humans and robotics in our neutral buoyancy research facility.
Hey everybody, I'm Gerald. I'm a junior student here at the University of Maryland. I study civil engineering, and doing that I get to study on the impacts of rainwater flows on how we live everyday life.
This is one of our favorite Maryland Day activities. It really lets us show how buoyancy and density work at our advantage in our study of humans and robotics inside of our tank. So the idea is that we can use something as simple as a piece of aluminum foil to make ourselves a buoyant surface, or a boat, and see how much force that boat can withstand before sinking inside of our tank. So I'm going to hand this piece off to you, and I'm going to make myself one, and we're going to see whose boat can hold more weight.
All right, well, may the best boat maker win. All
right, so you want to go first?
Sure. Let's see. I'll start with these big ones. Whoop. It's a balance.
You need a lot more weight there.
Yeah, you know what? Let's step up. Let's get a big boat. All right, let's get this big boy in here. Gotta optimize the loading. Okay. Let's go for another one. Alrighty.
That's a lot. Let's see what we can do.
Let's see. Okay. All the big washers, quite easy so far. Oh, got me beat.
Oh, it's got a hold.
Charlie's had a larger surface area. Mine had a smaller one. Now, we each added more and more weight to each ship, increasing its density. At some point for both of ours, we reached the maximum amount of force that we could have the water produce. At that point, for our smaller area boat that I made, it sank first. But the one that Charlie made had a larger area. And that's what enabled it to stay up for so much longer.
Thank you for joining us in our experiment today. We hope you had fun, and we hope you have fun doing this at home with your own boats.
That was incredible, right? Now don't worry, you can do this activity at home by either filling up your bathtub or your kitchen sink, grabbing some aluminum foil, and having some fun. If you're interested in learning more about becoming a terrapin engineer like me, feel free to contact us.
Hello and welcome to the University of Maryland Alumni Association's Maryland Day event. My name is Lauren Norris, and I'm the Director of Advocacy and Engagement at your Alumni Association. As you may know, it is our vision to be the heart of the university, inspiring lifelong connections with a global network of Maryland alumni. To achieve this vision, we host over 500 programs and events annually for our 388,000 alumni and 40,000 current students. Today, we are joined by alumnus Dom Rabrin, who will be teaching us how to draw everyone's favorite mascot, Testudo. Dom, take it away.
Hello, everyone.
person / people watching this, watching me draw this thing, we're going to be drawing Testudo today. And as you see, Testudo's right here. I've drawn Testudo in advance. And the reason Testudo is saying it's okay is because it really is okay. My goal here today is to just be your companion, your drawing guide as you draw on a piece of paper. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper and some kind of drawing tool. So colored pencils if you like, you can use a pen if you like, you can use a paintbrush and paint if you have it as well, whatever you like. We're going to be drawing a bunch of Testudos. I'm going to be showing you the basic version for beginners to draw Testudo, and then we're going to go through an intermediate version, a challenge, if you're already comfortable drawing, if you're already comfortable and familiar with Testudo already and the traditional design that you see on my shirt. No matter what level you're at, if you're drawing a stick figure, if you're drawing basic shapes, whatever level you're at, it really is okay here. And my goal, what would make me very excited and happy as your drawing companion today, is if you come up with anything. If you draw anything on your sheet of paper, you've won. You've done something fantastic already. So with Testudo, all you need to do is to know how to draw shapes. The shapes you're going to need to be able to draw are squares and circles. Very simple. Now when you draw, this is more of a rectangular shape. So imagine if you could just bend a square, and these are really going to be the building blocks for what you create. Same thing with the circle. Oblong circles, oval circles, different shapes and types of circles, circles split in half. These kinds of things, these are all you're going to need in order to draw Testudo, or really any other shape. So after you've done a couple of these and you've gotten comfortable with that, I'm going to show you the basic concept of drawing Testudo, the basic way we're going to do it, because in drawing, volume is really important. Just a very basic shape of a head. And again, I'm using the rectangle, using this rectangular shape, and then add a circle to it. So for the legs, we're going to be drawing here. This is very, very simple. It's all okay. You don't have to overthink it. Add another shape here. So right now what we've got are 5 rectangular shapes and 1 circle. We're not going to worry about the shell just yet. Now, we're going to need more space. We're going to do this again, rapidly. Just get into the groove of drawing these things. You can make them small if you like. My goal here is to get you comfortable with putting these shapes together. This is how professionals do it, hobbyists do it. These are the building blocks. Notice we have not gotten to Testudo's facial features yet, expressions, anything different like that. We're just doing shapes. You will see shortly that this is going to be turning into something else. If you're doing stick figures, that's okay. If you're doing something a little more detailed and you want to focus on one at a time, that's okay as well. I would encourage you to start stretching out some of these limbs, some of these squares and shapes, and see what happens when you play with them. After you've done a couple of them, now we can start thinking about facial features. If you want to use a reference image, that's fine. I would encourage you not to use reference images because it's just more fun that way. It's more exciting and expressive, and you could potentially create your own version of Testudo, which that would make me very happy if you came up with that and really made this your own. So now that we have this shape down, we're going to add eyes and a mouth We're going to add the funny expressions. If your testudo is about to go into a sporting event, meet friends, put on their mask, whatever's going on, you can add eyebrows, nails, and of course, a large M right in the middle. Basic, and then you add details on top of that. You always want to make sure that you get your details in afterwards. Just have a basic idea where you're going, or you cannot have an idea where you're going, and that is okay as well. We're going to talk about that more when we get into the more intermediate / advanced version of this. I'm going to add another version of this. When you're drawing Testudo's beak, just make a little shape like this, just like you would any other smile, sort of like a downward shape. Add a little tongue in there, eyebrows, nostrils. And just for fun, I'm going to do one that is a little abstract here. One arm, one leg, strange M, a little bit of a Picasso version here. The shell. So yes, here we have a bunch of testudos. This is the building block. This is all you need to create a very basic drawing of testudo. And after you've done these hundreds of times, potentially thousands of times, doodling for fun, you'll be able to start putting your own spin on it. And that's when things get really exciting with drawing, is just doing these things over and over again, even if it feels tedious or boring sometimes, or even if it feels exciting. This range of repetition is what will help you strengthen your drawing abilities. So what we're going to do is, if you're comfortable with drawing, or if you want a little bit of a challenge, I'm going to be using paint. What we're going to be doing is creating a background. And then we're going to draw testudo within that background, within the confines of the background. So we're going to make a very basic shape. Oh, it's dripping everywhere. That's good. I was a studio art major, and I learned over the years of fantastic art teaching and learning to just go with whatever happens. Very basic square, right? I'm going to be asking you and challenging you to make a bunch of these squares. And then within these squares, drawing your own testudo, like we did before. But a little more abstract, a little different, however you like. But there are limits to this. We want to put it inside of a shape. So I'm going to show you some examples here. So here we have an example of some backgrounds that I made already. Some painted backgrounds with the red. And now I'm going to show you how to do it with colored pencil. And now really, I would like for you to just draw any kind of shape or boundary. You can add triangles to them, make them look however you like. In fact, the more different your shape is, the more interesting this challenge is going to be for you. Because as I said at the top, it's important to just enjoy this and do whatever comes up is very uniquely you. And that's what's special about art. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to come up with some shapes like this. And we're going to go over to the pre-made shape area and draw very basic testudos in here. And now you want to challenge yourself. If you usually draw with your right hand, try drawing with your left. If you usually use one type of color, try another one. Try drawing an M in a different way, different colors, different shapes around it. All right, we're going to draw a couple of these. And we've been doing the same angle. But notice how I'm avoiding these edges. I'm avoiding these boundaries. And we've been putting Testudo in the same position, but I'm going to change that. Using a different reference image, I see the front view of Testudo. The little beak. I think it's what it's called. A beak, maybe a mouth. Another one. Maybe the arm comes out. It's okay to break the rules a little bit. Makes things interesting, especially in the art world. This Testudo is kind of friendly. Maybe they just got done eating lunch. So play within the shapes, outside of the shapes, make them large, make them small. But these constraints are where you're going to find really interesting methods. And again, we're using the same templates, the same concepts as before. Simple shapes, squares, rounded rectangles, circles. Yeah. All right, let's do one more just for fun. We're gonna use my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand. So I really have no clue what's going to come up, but it truly is okay, whatever happens. Okay, let's see. Sort of alarmed. There we go. Draw the M with my left hand, non-dominant. Very exciting way for you to be even more present in your drawing that I find. You use your non-dominant hand, makes you focus a little more. Little eyebrow. And that's it for the intermediate challenge. We've made a lot of Testudos today. And again, if you've drawn anything on your sheet of paper, you've succeeded in drawing Testudo. Testudo says it's okay, however you want to draw them. It's completely fine, whatever medium you want to use. And it would also excite and please me if you take any of these instructional tools and methods and use them when you're doodling on the sides of your paper, whenever you're out on a walk and just want to draw something very quick. These principles work with drawing anything, including yourself, family, and friends. And it's always a really good time to just be able to play with abstract shapes and use shapes to constrict your ideas and constrict whatever it is you're drawing so that you have limitations to work against.
Thank you so much, Dom, and to all of our participants for participating in our Maryland Day event today, where you became an artist. Thank you so much, and go Terps.
Bye, everybody.
UMD Lamb Watch, where normal is a lamb in a bucket. But let's start at the beginning. Animal Science 245, Sheep Management, aka Lamb Watch, transforms students into shepherds. There's class, jugs, mucking the stalls, chalkboards, whiteboard, paperwork, heat lamps, grain, hay, lots of hay, cows, horses, cats, and of course, sheep.
Jackpot.
13 ewes deliver between 13 to 26 lambs during the course.
List had 2 lambs.
And give novice student shepherds a chance to apply their in-class lessons.
And we help out with the first physical exams, looking at the respiratory rates, the temperature of the ewes and the lambs, and the weight of the lambs.
Farm work is a 24/7 operation, rain, shine, or snow. And there is always something to do.
A few chores that we do have while working on the farm: monitor the water intake, cleaning, sweeping, feeding, and you have to be on top of everything, especially when watching over pregnant animals.
Yes, are you happy? Yes, my love, yes.
The sheep, they're very friendly and it's so fun to be around sheep.
After birth, a lick bath, and bonding time with the ewe, lambs need a thorough checkup from the student shepherds to keep the flock healthy and happy. Shepherds keep out infection by dunking umbilical cords and hooves in iodine and weigh the lambs to ensure they are getting proper nutrition. As more lambs join the herd, the farm pace speeds up. Rub, notes, wave. Feed clean hay, rub, notes, wave. Feed clean hay, rub, notes, wave. Until all of the lambs are born, and a flock of 13 at the beginning of February has expanded to 39.
Lamb watch and taking care of pregnant sheep has been really fun and rewarding. Being able to be a part of a birth and help out if needed, even though we're students, I really do appreciate that.
So the most meaningful part about being in this sheep management class is this is just not a quiz or an assignment. These are lives that we're taking care of. And that's very meaningful to me because I get to see them grow up and develop based on how much I take care of them, how much I know of them from lectures.
The student shepherds will continue with their farm responsibilities. In the meantime, shh, let's give the ewes and lambs some time to rest.
Hello, welcome to Virtual Maryland Day. My name is Erica Bondara-Freypatch, and I'm the Acting Executive Director of the Clarice Smith Performing Arts Center.
I'm Maura Keefe. I'm the Director of the University of Maryland's School of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies, and I'm also an Associate Professor of Dance.
Thank you for joining us. I have had the pleasure of attending Maryland Day myself for over 10 years, but like everything else in our lives, right now we are adjusting to new ways of presenting and experiencing the arts.
What I love about Maryland Day is it's a great opportunity to see University of Maryland's world of fearless ideas, and I'm so glad you're here.
And to that end, today, in partnership with the College of Arts and Humanities, we bring you Efrat Asheri. She performed at the Clarice in early March of 2020 and visited classes in the School of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies. She was actually the last performance I went to at the Clarice before COVID entered our lives.
Efrat's relationship continues. She's a guest faculty member this semester in the School of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies. It's really great to continue a relationship with the Clarice and the schools. What you're going to see today is a lesson about the history of house music. Please consider joining Efrat. You can even join in her dancing while sitting down.
We hope you enjoy, and we also look forward to welcoming you back to the Clarice and to the campus when it is safe to do so. In the meantime, stay tuned to our website, theclarice.umd.edu, for information about our virtual events.
Happy Maryland Day, everyone.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Efrat Asheri. I'm a choreographer and dancer based out of New York City. And the last performance that I did with my company before the pandemic was at University of Maryland. And it was one of our favorite shows. As a dancer, it's been quite a journey to figure out how to stay moving and stay active. So I wanted to share with you some of these little dances I've been making in a chair, right? Because we could dance anywhere. So we are gonna do so the pattern is gonna go right heel, left heel, then right heel, left heel again, but faster, and then right toe, left toe. Cool? And then the heels are gonna come together, the toes are gonna come together. We're gonna hold and step, step. So really we're just playing around with a toe and a heel, and a toe and a heel, and a heel and a toe, and some steps. You got this, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, right heel, left, right, left, heels together, toes together, hold, step, step. That's it. And you can put your hands on your lap, you can put them on the chair, you can leave them out, whatever you feel, okay? 5, 6, 7, right heel, and 1, and 2, heel, heel, toe, toe, heels together, toes together, hold, step, step. Here we go, 5, 6, good, 7, we go, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and heels, toes. Oh, that's it. So if you have shoes on, you can make some noise. Shout out to all the percussive dancers out there. 5, 6, 7, here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I should say, you know, tap dancing influenced basically it's like the godfather, godmother, godparent, great auntie, uncle of all African American vernacular dance. And so you see so much influence of tap dancing in house, in hip hop, in breaking, right? So just shout out to that. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, we go and heel, heel, toe, toe. Boom, bop, great. So we start out with that sharp, kind of percussive, almost little part, and then we're gonna go into something smooth it out. You're gonna let your right foot slide out, and your body's going to the left, okay? So you're going 1, and then you're bringing everything back in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. Good, so one more time. So you just finished, hold, step, step. That right leg goes out as your body goes to the left. 1, then you bring it all in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's try it together. 5, 6, 7, here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, hold, 7, step, step, slide, 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 hop. Yeah, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the 8th one, will you guys just bring it in instead of bringing the knee up so we can start the next step? How about that? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just keep it on the floor. 8. Now you're gonna do a little right, left, right, right. Single, single, double is the pattern. And you're thinking of kind of kicking the leg. You know, you could do it in the air if you want. You could do it in the ground, on the ground, right? But the pattern is single, single, double, single, single, double. Good. And if you notice, right, I'm using my shoulders and my arms. I'm using the opposite arm as the leg that's going. So if my right leg kicks, my left arm is going to move in opposition. 1, 2, 3, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. How's that? Good? Let's try from the top. 5, 6, 7, here we go. And heel, 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 toe, toe. Heels together, toes together. Hold, step, step. Slide, hey, slide, 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 in. Right, left, double it up. Hey, you can lean back whatever you want. Good. How is that? Okay, let's go on. And then I can even slow it down. We have a little more time. I just want to make sure to give you some steps to have fun with. So we just finished on our left side, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm gonna open both feet, 1, 2, right? You're gonna hold for 2 and it's gonna be, you're not really holding because you're grooving and you're flowing the whole time. 1, 2, cross, the right foot in front. 3, 4, then you're gonna go, let's say on the and, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Does that make sense? So you know, we're gonna be listening to this really lovely house track. And in house music, you know, you think so much about what's the downbeat and what's the upbeat and how do they relate to each other. So when I'm talking about like 1 and right, the downbeat and the upbeat, and those two different feelings, how they affect your body. So here's a perfect example. We're going 1, holding 2, we're going 3, holding 4, we're going 5, then we're crossing on the upbeat, and 6, and 7, and 8. Cool? One more time. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And just keep switching legs, okay? You can't really make a mistake there. Just keep switching. It's all good. And then we're going to cross on 1, hold 2. Does that make sense? Before we were open on 1, 2, but now we're crossed on 1, 2. 1, 2, then open 3, 4. Now instead of crossing on the and counts, we're crossing on the downbeat, which is going to feel different because we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and come together on 8 again. Just like we did before after that last slide, we came together on 8. How's that sound? Try again? Here we go. Let's go from the open and close. closed or the crisscross, right? So we just finished the last slide, 7, 8. And then we went 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right, left, left. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Now we're crossing 1, 2, we're holding 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Woo! Do one more time. We open 1, 2, we cross 3, 4, 5. Now you're gonna cross on the and 6, and 7, and 8. Good. Now you're gonna cross 1, 2 with the right foot in front. Open 3, 4. You're gonna cross on 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Okay, but no matter what you do, you're gonna be on beat because you're gonna either be on the downbeat or the upbeat. But the way we're doing it now, we're switching where we're putting the accent so it can feel a little more like, spicy, okay? Let's try it from the top. 5, 6, 7, here we go. And heel, 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 toe, toe. Heels, toes, hold, step, step. Slide, hey, slide. Slide and slide, bring it in. Are we okay with that? Then we go heel, and heel. Now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Cross 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! Okay, let's go ahead and try it with music. The song that we're gonna use is called Days Like This. It's the DJ Spinner remix, and it really embodies the ethos of house, of love, tolerance, inclusivity, and real freedom of expression. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. So let's do it. I'm just gonna count you in, and just in case you can't hear me over the music, you're gonna see me go 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool? We'll start with that right here. Here. 5, 6, 7, 8. Check this out. We're gonna go right, left. Try to extend the leg. Right, in, out. Left, right, left, in, out. Cool? One more time. 6, 7, and right, left. Extend the leg. Right, wrap it in. Left, right, left, wrap it in. Cool? One more time. 5, 6, 7, and right, left. Oh, let's throw the arms up for this one. Why not? We haven't put the arms up. Yeah? If you feel so moved to do so, do that. So it's right, in, out. Left, in, out. Let your arms go up. 5, 6, 7, here we go. And right, in, out. Left, in, out. And don't worry about what your arms are doing. Just let them move. You can look up at the ceiling. Yeah? Have a ball. 5, 6, 7, here we go. Right, in, out. Left, in, out. Good. Okay, now. I think we should try that whole thing one more time with music. 5, 6, 7, right here, right. Good. I hope this is clear and that you're having some fun. And I just want to show you really quickly what it would feel like if you decide to take this standing. So, you're gonna do the whole thing basically. You would just go right heel, left, right, left, heels, toes, hold, step, step. Slide in, slide in, slide in, slide, bring it in. Right foot, left arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Open 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Cross 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 together, 8. Does that make sense? Kind of. So then from here, if you're standing, 7, 8, actually would love it if you could take it to the floor. After 8, take a little squat down. If you have room to slide back, go ahead and slide back. Hope you can see me here. So 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you slide back 1, 2, 3. Actually bring your legs together on 4. And then go 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then from here, let's go ahead and just step over that foot, and then you come back. 5, 6, 7, 8,
Welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce you to some exciting and innovative work taking place within the School of Public Policy and across the University of Maryland to achieve progress on the grand challenges facing the world today. As this past year has taught us, our increasingly globalized world drives a rising number of social, health, economic, and sustainability issues that cross borders and span jurisdictions. These challenges demand a workforce that can navigate complex and multidisciplinary public solutions, both locally and across the globe. A local to global ethos is at the heart of our approach within the School of Public Policy and is present throughout our mission of public service for the public good. As we celebrate the School of Public Policy's 40th anniversary this year, a new building is currently being erected to enhance our ability to serve that mission and our students in the center of the Maryland campus, just a few miles from the global hub of Washington, D.C. Today, speaking as both a dean and a public service practitioner, I'm pleased to share with you a brief snapshot, a few examples of the countless creative efforts taking place across campus to create local and global impact.
My research is mainly using interdisciplinary approach that encompasses engineering, science, policy, and economic analysis to look at the challenge from climate change as well as effective transitions into clean energy. Here, I specifically look at technologies such as distributed solar panels, battery storage, electric vehicles, energy efficiency. At Maryland, there are several cross-campus energy or climate initiatives. I think that's a platform which I found very helpful. And from that platform, I was able to meet people from urban planning, from mechanical engineers, from civil engineers, with whom I have been developing very close collaboration with. I focus my research areas in both the United States and China. The majority of my papers are published together with student co-authors. Maryland is a great place to study. It's a great platform for students to be able to be exposed to different disciplines. Most important advice is to have the interdisciplinary mindset. Working on energy, for example, working on energy economics or environmental economics, they need understanding of both behaviors, policies, economics, as well as the engineering and the science aspects of the problems.
How do we make robots learn faster? Now, it's a simple question, but why this question is important? Why do we want to make robots learn faster? Robots are being used everywhere, and natural disasters, I personally feel that is one place which we cannot control. We cannot control where there is going to be a volcanic eruption or where there is going to be a tsunami or something like that. But what we can do on our part is plan better to detect them before, or at least have some understanding that this is going to happen so we can plan. University of Maryland has a consortium of people who work in robotics. It's called Maryland Robotics Center, which is one of the biggest a consortium for robotics in the entire country. They have people from every discipline. I am personally in computer science, but they have people from mechanical engineering, electrical, and even biotechnology fields you can't even imagine that you will be collaborating with. It has been a truly remarkable learning experience for me just to be a part of that bigger organization and collaborate with people from there. Take advantage of the resources University of Maryland has to offer. Take time to meet other people at the university and see what interests you. That has helped me in making a bigger picture, I would say, where exactly my research fits into the real world.
Teaming up with the University of Maryland's Office of International Affairs and the Academy for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we have launched an innovative one-credit course for spring 2021 to introduce first-year students to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These 17 goals serve as a call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. We are employing the UN goals and design thinking principles as a framework through which students are creating projects to address grand challenges. This provides them with an opportunity as early as their very first semester at Maryland to make contributions toward a more equitable and sustainable future for all. These students are also developing global skills by working virtually across cultures with peers, from international partner institutions based in Mexico, China, and New Zealand, while participating in guest lectures with international experts. These are guest speakers who have played an integral role in the creation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or who are working to implement them as leaders of impactful organizations globally.
Some of the problems we face, especially at a global level, but often at a national level, require multiple perspectives in order to understand precisely the nature of the problem we're trying to address. Issues, say, in health policy or in environmental policy, require an understanding of the other. That, I think, is probably changing how we think about policy more generally. We go to Peru, where we look at the issue of forest conservation in the Amazon region of Madre de Dios. We go to Indonesia, the island of Bali, Sulawesi, Sumatra, and then the mega city of Jakarta. Just recently, former students in the Indonesia course put together a fundraiser for someone who's very near and dear to us, a rice farmer in Bali, to help support him and his family during COVID times. The students just jumped at that opportunity and wanted to help. And those are the kinds of students we have. They're driven to do this kind of work, and it shows up in many different kinds of ways. I think it's an essential part of the self-identity of many of our students. Much of their work is driven towards the public good. And that is what brings our students to public policy. There is a kind of idealism that they bring to their studies. It predates their studies. These courses often encourage them to think in really new and interesting directions. And I've seen this very concretely in terms of what they go on to do in their lives. Many of them are in positions that have a direct lineage to their experience in these courses.
The Global Classroom Initiative at the Office of International Affairs is project-based, cross-cultural, and virtual. It's a course that's taught in partnership with a university abroad. Students co-learn and co-work together throughout the semester to produce a meaningful project that typically or ideally connects to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. I was looking to create an experiential learning course for students in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. I wanted students to get hands-on experience creating extension education for farmers with partners in sub-Saharan Africa. Some of the projects that have come out of this class have included an agricultural radio hour that's now run by our Liberian students. We've done high school outreach. We've also helped support a chocolate processing company that was student created. That's the first national processing company for chocolate in the country of Liberia. Depending on your major, this kind of experience where you can work across these cultural lines, where you're problem solving, where you're addressing real issues, where you're having an impact on people's lives. It's a really important opportunity to have, and I am really grateful and proud that University of Maryland offers this initiative. A lot of youth have a pretty narrow idea of what agriculture is, and so it is definitely a goal of mine and my counter instructor to blow up that field and talk about it from the perspective of engineering, from business, from gender, from nutrition. And so I do work quite a bit across disciplines. Our goal at higher education institutions is to create a transformational learning space for students and employees to become global citizens who are capable of addressing the great challenges that face us today. I believe that only from a collaborative global mindset will we succeed in mitigating the effects of climate change, producing new adaptive food systems, winning the fight for racial and economic justice, achieving gender equality. These are collective problems and they will need to be collective solutions. I definitely believe in the interdisciplinary approach. And that's one of the reasons why I have really appreciated the Global Classroom Fellowship Program, because it's exposed me to my colleagues around the campus who have interpreted this model in really innovative frameworks.
Preparing Terps to be leaders and change agents for public good in an increasingly complex world means constantly pushing the envelope and fostering opportunities to work across disciplines and sectors toward innovative solutions. It means empowering students through project-based learning to have an impact locally and globally long before they graduate. Thank you for joining us today to recognize some of the remarkable work underway at the University of Maryland to create impact on the world's grand challenges.
The science is clear. Climate change is caused by humans.
The Earth is getting hotter. So drive less and bike more.
Single-use plastic does not help anyone.
Use a refillable water bottle instead.
Climate change is happening,
and the University of Maryland is continuing to be a national leader on climate action. But Terps can do more.
At the University of Maryland, students, faculty, and staff are creating solutions to the world's most vexing problems. You can see and feel a commitment to sustainability throughout the university's teaching, research, service, and operations.
Snakes.
UMD is striving to achieve net zero carbon emissions from campus operations. All new buildings are carbon neutral and integrate green design features such as green roofs and solar panels. Interior spaces incorporate compost bins and motion detector lights. Campus buildings are also living labs for sustainability, where students can design and test new solutions, such as this patent-pending device that prevents unnecessary toilet flushing. Many solutions are the result of UMD's innovative research. Nutrient-rich substrates are now used on area rooftop farms. Sphagnum moss is a part of the pool filtration system in the Epley Recreation Center, reducing reliance on pool chemicals and saving water. And we have a sustainable farm in Upper Marlborough and growing spaces around campus. Some of the produce from these ventures is served in campus dining halls, sold at the campus farmers market, or donated to community members in need. We try to be a steward of natural resources within our watershed. To that end, water draining across campus is measured and monitored by strategically placed stormwater sensors and controls before flowing into the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Sustainability is part of who we are. That's why there are nearly 50 degree programs that prepare students to work on environmental issues. For faculty and staff, there are numerous programs they can participate in while reducing their environmental footprint. And the Sustainability Fund awards more than $250,000 each year to support sustainable initiatives. Previous recipients include the Food Recovery Network, water bottle filling stations, and DOT's Bicycle Recycling Project. The University of Maryland is addressing complex, interconnected issues such as climate change by investing in strategies to restore the well-being of all life on our planet. Together, Terrapin Strong, we can help solve grand challenges for a brighter, cleaner, and more equitable future. To learn more and be a part of the solution, join us at sustainability.umd.edu.
Hi, I'm Allison Jaden. I'm Assistant Director with the Department of Dining Services at the University of Maryland.
Hey, I'm Chef Larry with Dining Services with the University of Maryland.
And we are excited to bring you for Maryland Day. Dining Services serves the community from farm to food bank. First, we're starting out at the Troupe Farm with Farm Manager Guy Kilpatrick.
My name is Kai and I work for the Troupe Farm. Here at Troupe Farm, we make our own potting mix using compost, coconut coir, and rice hulls. All agricultural byproducts we use to close the circle on waste and produce our produce. We mix and sift these materials to grow sustainable, organic food for the UMD community.
I'm Guy, and I'm the Troupe Farm Manager. Today, we're seeding microgreens. First, we want to even out and pat down our potting mix. Then we season the tray with our microgreen seed and take it out to the greenhouse. They really grow like magic. We'll harvest these greens with our automatic greens harvester and take them over to Larry to create something delicious.
And now we're going to learn a little bit more about the UMD Campus Pantry.
Hi everybody, my name is Brian Miko. I'm the CCMA AmeriCorps Vista here at the UMD Campus Pantry.
Hi, my name is Larry Tillman, and I'm the Pantry Manager and the Farmers Market Manager.
Hi, I'm Janae. I'm a student staff at the Campus Pantry. Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm also a student staff at the Campus Pantry.
The UMD Campus Pantry was founded in 2014 to alleviate hunger by providing emergency food to Terps in need. The pantry is managed by the Department of Dining Services with the support of students, staff, departments, alumni, and the broader community. The pantry started in an underutilized concession stand in Cole Fieldhouse and then moved to a conference room in the ground floor of the health center. Throughout our COVID-19 response, we've been operating out back of the Dining Services warehouse. The pantry provides fresh produce from the Turp Farm, community learning garden, and coastal Sunbelt produce, and shelf-stable foods from food drives and our partner, the Capital Area Food Bank. We're happy to share that thanks to the support of Turp alum and families, we're nearing the completion of the new expanded campus pantry, which will be located on the ground floor of the South Campus Dining Building. The new pantry will include a culinary teaching center to educate Terps about healthy, affordable food and cooking. In our new space, the campus pantry team will provide cooking classes and demonstrations with the help of students. We are bringing you one today for Maryland Day, where we use microgreens from the Turp Farm with Turp Farm manager Guy Kilpatrick in our kitchen with Chef Larry Tumlin, our green dining manager and chef. Let's take a look.
Hi, it's Chef Larry again. We're gonna do a black bean quinoa taco with fresh microgreens from Turp Farm. We're gonna combine all our seasonings first. Ground black pepper, ground cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, and chili powder. Put that together because we're going to use it twice in the recipe. Speaking of Turp Farm, Guy, who is the manager out there, takes so much pride in his job that he does out there. You can taste it in his produce. We're going to chop a fresh onion as fine as possible. We're going to discard the core, and we're going to make sure that we chop it nice and fine. Many times at the farm, Guy and I would walk by and discuss different recipes as we look at his new product coming out of the field. Like I said, he takes so much pride in what he does. Now we're going to go to our green pepper. We're going to slice off both ends. We're going to remove the core. And now we're going to remove the seeds and dice in julienne strips. We're going to turn the slit strips sideways, and we're going to dice those finely. We may have to go through them a couple of times to make sure that they're chopped fine enough. After that, we'll combine them. We'll go and check on our oil, and we're going to take our onions and peppers and put them in the pot. We're going to allow them to cook. We're trying to look for a translucent onion so we know that they're tender. Meanwhile, we're going to take our garlic, smash it, and we're going to chop it fine also. This recipe has black beans in it, and they actually grew black beans out on Turp Farm. It was a project for a grad student. Those black beans went for the dining hall and also for a demo at the farmer's market. You're going to add your garlic, and now you're going to stir. You're not going to allow your onions to get too brown. We're going to add some of the seasoning that we did. Stir, trying to get those onions and peppers with a nice seasoning in them. Now we're going to add the quinoa. Not to toast it, but to get some of that nice flavor that we just created by combining the onions and peppers and the seasoning. We're going to do our diced tomatoes. And with our liquid there from the diced tomatoes, we're going to add our tomato paste. So that should give something for your tomato paste to dissolve in. We're going to stir that, get it all blended together. Then we're going to put in our black beans. Black beans, like I said, we grew them out at Turp Farm for a project. And it came out pretty good. They were very good at the demo, and a lot of students loved them. Now we're going to add a stock. It could be a chicken stock or it could be a veggie stock. It depends totally on how you want to go with this. We're going to take this recipe, we're going to bring it to a boil, we reduce it, cook for 30 minutes or until the quinoa is tender and bloom. For assembly, we're going to grill off our tortilla shells to get a nice brown one. We're going to add like a 1/4 cup of the quinoa mixture onto the center of each shell. We're going to spread it out a little bit because you want to bite it, you want to taste it as you bite into it. We're going to do a sour cream on top. And like I said before, you can use a vegan sour cream or you can use a regular sour cream. It's totally up to you. After that, we're going to slice some lime, so we can squeeze some fresh lime on each one. Then from there, we're gonna go get those very fresh microgreens grown out at Troupe Farm and top our taco. This would give it a freshness and a nice little crunch when you bite into your taco. We're gonna use some of those lime wedges that we previously cut, place them on the side for garnish. Boy, that looks nice. Then we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have our lunch or dinner and enjoy these fresh, nice tacos topped with fresh microgreens from Troupe Farm. Enjoy.
Thanks so much from all of us at the University of Maryland Department of Dining Services. Check out the Maryland Day website, marylandday.umd.edu, to download our recipe and try it at home. Enjoy the cooking. Bye, everybody.
That was a championship performance. You were absolutely magnificent. The best effort of the year by far. You earned the right to play on Sunday. We are not done yet.
Donovan Pines is in there. He's being marked by Goodman. This one goes towards the near. Donovan Pines has scored! It's a second goal for Maryland!
Heading into the 2018 season, we knew that it was going to be one of the toughest seasons because Sasha put together the toughest teams that were all ranked in the top 25.
We typically take our team on the road the first weekend, and we typically go out to the West Coast and play some of the top teams on the West Coast. In this particular year, we took on a great University of Washington team, and they handed it to us.
My name is Daryl Pines, but most importantly, I am known as Donovan's dad. Losing 2016 in the very first game in the tournament, losing 2017 the very first game in the tournament. And Sasha will characterize the year, if I remember, as a year of redemption.
What a scene here with three-time back-to-back national champion Stanford.
So then we said, okay, let's keep going, let's move on. Another hard-fought battle. We ended up tying that game. We're playing UCLA, very, very good team all the time, another top 10 team. Things just didn't go our way and we lost that game, so we were coming off some really tough games and we kind of had a weird morale going into the rest of the season. The first third was incredibly stressful for the coach, for the players, and for the parents, and for the fans. It was headed to be potentially one of the worst seasons in history at the University of Maryland and under Coach Sorosky.
And what I remember is that we couldn't score. We had come off a 2017 year where we had a tough time scoring, and we didn't win our last 5 games. So now we've gone 8 games without a win, and yet I started to feel that there was a lot of promise with our team.
It was kind of tough. We had to kind of find ourselves and try to stay positive in the moments that we could, and to say, okay, we have a long season ahead of us, and we're going to keep grinding out and see if we can find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Coach Todd Yeagley dubbed tonight's matchup as a showcase for college soccer.
It was October the 13th at their place. There were, I think, top 2 or 3 teams in the country at that point.
Now the top for Ben, who rips it into the back of the net.
I thought we played better than they did on that day, and yet we gave up 2 goals off a corner in the first half and then scored with 18 seconds to go at the end of the game, and it was crushing.
Hey, Gutman finds the back of the net again with 18 seconds remaining.
That kind of, demoralized our morale.
We were just missing a few details. We just didn't have the mental toughness at that point in time to get the results.
We couldn't believe that we lost that game in that last minute. So we had, a chip on our shoulder.
We started to get in rhythm after that game. We started to win some games, and the confidence was rising. The tide was turning. You could sense it.
And it's a goal! Big! Third of the season, Terps up early!
Indiana won the tournament in 2013, Maryland 14, 15, and 16. They square up today.
Went into the Indiana game undermanned.
Donovan Pines, first team all Big Ten, is out. St. Martin is in.
And in the first half against Indiana, they took it to us. The other player scored a great goal against us, ran through our defense, and that hurt.
Gutman making a run. Gutman still with it. How does he do it? Gutman, how does he do it? Andrew Gutman, Big Ten Defender of the Year.
dribble through like 4 players, and and I'm looking at that dead on. I'm like, I was just gonna tackle that guy.
Second half, we came back strong, and we tied the game.
Here comes Maryland, though, the other way, and they tie it just like that. We told you there was a mountain of time left, and DeRosa making the run.
We go into overtime, and we lose a crushing penalty kick, a tiebreaker.
Up next, he can smoke a ball. Indiana to advance, and Indiana will advance. Your regular season champions riding their seniors.
And again, once again, after that game, I was kind of pleased because I knew Donnie's going to come back. I knew Chase is coming back. I knew we didn't have to play in the Sunday final. And the goal for us was the NCAA National Championship. We'd won a lot of Big Ten titles, but I thought, let's go back. Let's get rested. Let's get re-energized, and let's make a run at this thing.
I think most people, if they looked at the beginning of the season, would have said, there's no way this team is going to even make the tournament.
The Maryland Terrapins 9-6-4 on the season, but peaking at the right time. Without question, the Blue Devils another 10-plus win year under Coach John Kirk. Kick! The scissor gives Maryland the 1-0 lead. Hervé with the finish.
So the Wildcats lose at home for the first time this season, and that's because Maryland is on its way to the College Cup.
The parents had, at that point, we were just elated that we were, for the first time, me, our family, the other families, that we could actually go to Santa Barbara. I mean, because we were like, we can get out of these cold games.
We had this incredible sense of confidence going into California, and we knew we were playing Indiana in the semifinal, and we knew there's no way we're losing a third time. They were the favorite, but I just sensed from the flight to the bus trip from LA to Santa Barbara, there was this sense of confidence that we had our full squad, we were rested, and things were going to be a lot different into this game.
We were just going to go all out and just 100% try to beat them, because they beat us twice, and it felt like we were capable of playing that team and beating that team, and we didn't want to make it 3 wins in a row. We had a job to do, and that was to win the College Cup.
Indiana came out strong, and we had to weather the storm quite a bit.
We were coming for blood, honestly. We just really wanted to beat them and make them feel the pain that we felt.
Maryland, they are up. Swiveled and smashed in, and the Terps have added to the pressure by producing the game's first goal here.
Eli is on the free kick. He crosses the ball in, and Will tries to go for it. It fell perfectly for me, and I put my long leg out and timed it perfectly.
This one goes towards the near. Donovan Pines has scored! It's a second goal for Maryland!
And I had forgotten the surprise Donovan had when he scores the goal. It was like...
We knew that was the dagger.
The 6'5" center back has stabbed in a huge goal here with 10 minutes and 38 seconds left.
Indiana has a band that comes to the game, and the way they like to rally their troops and their fans is to have that band play the Indiana fight song. And when that goal went in, the band went dead. And we knew it was over.
The memorable celebration, the failed effort of a Donovan flip. I remember as a 7.5, but as I watched the video, it might be more like a 3.5.
I don't even know what that was.
On a scale of ecstasy, jubilation, joy, it's a 10. It was one of the great moments that we've had in celebrations.
I did it, and I was happy, and everyone's, was hugging me and picking me up, and it was one of the best experiences I've had scoring a goal. It paved the way into us getting into the College Cup, and from being vividly seeing that happen, it was pretty surreal.
Oh, this is amazing. But then you also see his commitment to get back. This is not over, and he's ready to come back and do his thing on the defensive side of the ball. An incredible moment. It was a really nice serve by Eli and a great finish by Donovan.
The whole section of Maryland people, we just all jumped up. We were like, we're going to win this game. We're going to the championship game. It was like children. And as a parent, it's like finally, after all these years of support, as a parent, it was just wonderful to see the hard work lead to the ultimate outcome, was to get to the championship game.
Maryland Terrapins will knock out Indiana. They will go on to the NCAA Men's College Cup to take on Akron. And Donovan Pines in the 80th. Maryland is shutout after shutout right now. For Dane St. Clair and this team in gold collective defending that put them in a position here today.
The connection he has with the community, with the university, with the program, to have that moment, that's what dreams are made of.
That was a championship performance. You were absolutely magnificent. The best effort of the year by far. Congratulations. Now, as I've said before, okay, you earned the right to play on Sunday. We are not done yet, okay? We're coming Sunday. We're ready to play one more of these performances, okay? That's what we need from you guys. But I couldn't be more proud of the effort you put on this day.
A little bit of butterflies in that moment. He knew, he believed in us, and he said, we're not done yet. And a switch turned on. He's like, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's right. You have one more, and then we're champions.
The chins were up, the chests were out, the smile was on the face, and the heart was pounding, and I knew we were ready for something special.
And then we came in there and showed the Maryland grit like we always can do, and the excellence that is in our team, and just the chemistry and the emotions were high.
It's going to take all 11 of us on the same page on every play, no play off. And whatever it takes, we're going to meet that challenge. We're not going to get rattled. We're going to overcome any little bad moments that we have. Even if they get one, we're going to be fine. But let's make sure they don't get one, and we did that.
Majority tonight, it will be the most memorable game of their soccer careers. Game on here in Santa Barbara, California. Maryland in white and Akron in the blue and gold. The night it was for Maryland here. Sasha Surofsky and company getting back to the top of the heap.
And I love that they did it after many trials and tribulations. Started this season very shaky, but they made the changes. The personnel stepped up, and you had some senior leadership along with some incredible defending that led them to this spot.
We're going to the penalty spot. Maryland has earned a penalty here. A high leg. State to score. The Maryland Terrapins have taken a 1-0 lead here. It is Maryland who has won it here. They are unscored upon, and they go back to the summit of NCAA men's college soccer. They are national champions.
Here and now that we're celebrating as a team, the love for the game and the love for the university and the love for each other, just like a band of brothers.
This has been the epitome of Maryland soccer this year, reestablished, re-identified, and to be the last team smiling is the happiest you can possibly be. What I remember is we're last team standing, last team smiling. It is just one of the most joyous, incredible feelings you can possibly have as a coach, but the journey was extra special.